working on a 95 Ford Pro SE manual, and today we're going to change the brake pads and the rotors. So I've already removed the wheel, have the car jacked up, and I'm using a 17 socket to remove the bolts. And since I'm going to go ahead and replace the rotor, I'm just going to remove the entire caliper, so I'm not going to remove this piston part. The whole thing will come out by itself. So here's a bolt right here. Right here. I'm going to take that off. I've already loosened them up.
And it's also replacing the rotor.
So there's one. Make sure you don't lose these bolts. So keep them somewhere where you know you're gonna keep them, where you're gonna be able to find them. This one's down like at the bottom, but you're gonna use, should fit that number 17 socket. Alright. So, and I've used WD-40 to do all this. So, this might be stuck on here. Alright, so there we go. Now we got that off. So now we're gonna, like, if you look in here, I don't know if you can see it, but you see this little, that little clip thingy, and my hand's going over. We have to replace those. And if you see, I don't know if you can see it, but there it is right there. I can probably put my peek in there. There you go. Right there, that thing. It goes inside of that brake pad. When you buy hardware, you're going to always want to buy hardware. If not, you're going to have noise regardless what kind of brake pads you get. So here's my hardware. I got brand new. And then here's this. Here's those little clips. Alright, so here's the pads. Go ahead and take those out. So I'm going to set this down. So there's one. Alright, and then see these clips right here. See, this is trying to come out. So, that's a good sign. It's missing one, that's why you want to always buy hardware. And then here's these little clips right here. You're going to take those out and replace those too. And then here's the other brake pad. Sometimes they're a little harder to get out, depends. Alright, so this is why we're replacing these. Because there's not much left. I guess this side was still kind of okay, but whatever. I thought they were, and see, this one's like crap, so it's like basically dead. So that's garbage. Garbage. Alright, and then to get the rotor off, we're going to have to do a little bit more. We're going to have to, I always hit it with a hammer, and I spray a little bit of WD-40. So, let's see, where did I put the WD-40? So here's all the old stuff. Alright, so I put it around these little things right here. And I put it in here, inside. And back here some. Because I'm going to hit it with the hammer. To loosen up the tension that's on it. When you do this, make sure you hold on to this. So it doesn't fall. And make sure that you don't hit your lug nuts or your strut. See, there we go, it's already off. So make sure you don't hit those because you can break them. It'll look too hard to replace. Alright, so here's this rotor. Okay, so now... Okay, so here's the new rotor. Sometimes these will have grease all over them. Make sure you clean all that off, because you don't want that on the your new pads. So this one looks alright. But you know, kind of just, you know, clean it up a little bit. Make sure there's not really any debris or any kind of residue left over on them. Okay, so this just goes back on over here, like so. And it's going to be like that because it doesn't have the caliper on it. And it's new. So we're going to go ahead and take these out. Before you put your pads on, you're going to push this piston, this single kit piston, you're going to push that back in. And I have a clamp, so I'm going to use this. I'm just going to lay this down like that. See if you can see that. There you go. Alright, so I'll put this on top. So it doesn't really take too long, but it does take some time. You always want to change them out in like pairs. I've already done the other side. And I didn't see any videos about changing the rotors or how to do this correctly, so I'm going to show you myself. In case any of you guys, other people have a forward probe. So you're just gonna push this until it gets pretty hard to push in. That should probably be alright. You don't want to push in like too deep. I don't know what could happen, but I don't want to find out. I don't think you want to either. And on another video, I saw that you should drain some of your brake fluid out before pushing that piston in. But I just popped my cap a little bit and let it just drain out. So, whatever. Just ghetto, I guess. Alright, so here's your piston hardware. I'm going to clip back in here. You should be able to see it, how it goes in. Try to keep my hands out of the way. You should be able to just like kind of follow the little grooves and stuff, how it goes in. And they should just like slide in. Like I said, sometimes it's a little harder. Alright, well, I'm having some difficulty. Okay, there we go. Alright, I got it in there. Okay, so now we're going to put the other one in, and I'll just go ahead and pause it. Alright, so we got it in now. Now, let's see. Alright, so now I'm going to put the pads. Brand new, big difference. Huge difference. Okay, so you always want this big piece to be sticking out on the inside that way. It's the best way it'll go in without hitting anything else. So you just kind of follow those grooves again. It might not go in, you know, perfect. So it might take you a second, just like it probably will me. Alright, so there we go. That's how it should look like. You want it to stay in there. You're probably going to have that gap also from the piston. Or from that piston on the caliper. Because it still has to push back in. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the other one in. Alright, and this one is going to have another thing like that. So it should be like opposite side of this one. That's why they put these here. So you're going to go in from that angle. It should just slide in since the other one is already on. And this one you don't really have to worry about it falling off because it's got its own wall. Sometimes these things are hard to see what you're doing because it's so small. Like this motherfucker doesn't want to go in. And you have no real good angle at it. But once it goes in, it's in there. There we go. Alright, so now it's in there. Now, time for these things. These things suck. So what I do, there's a gap right here in the back. I'll pinch it like this. And then I'll slide it through back here. And I'll put my finger here. And I'll pinch the back ends again. And I'll push this finger in. And then I like push the top of them. And if you look down on the bottom, you'll see right here, and there's like this clip thing right here. You can't really tell too much, but it's that little grab thing right there. You're probably gonna have to pull these over it. Then you're gonna make sure you're gonna get it into that same slot that we saw it in. That one thing down here at the bottom. There's like a little hole down there. You can't really see it too much, but I'll go ahead and try to get it in here, and you can see how it looks after. Okay, so I got it in there. Be careful with this brake line too. So you can see them down here. So there you go. They're in those back clip things. You can't really tell too much, but they're in there. See the little thing right there? I don't even know if you can see it from this angle, honestly. I don't know, but that's what it looks like again. And there's that hole. You can't see with the caliper on, but it goes in there. I hope you can see that. It's that little chrome piece under the brake pad, and it's that clip is in there. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put the other one in. And sometimes they're pretty hard to put in. So okay, so there we go. Got them both on now. Okay. All right, so now all we do is we take this. You want to make sure you put it on right. So if it doesn't go on, you might have to push the brake pad or something like that out a little bit more. But it should just go right on. There we go. You want it to be over that bolt so you can put these back in. Alright, sometimes this part is a little hard too. It just won't go in sometimes, so you gotta wiggle this thing around. Okay, so I'll just come back to you on this. Okay, so now we are finishing. I had like the pad fall out and the little clips got all messed up, so I had to go back and do it again. So now I'm just finishing up putting these bolts on, but that was the last part really. Well, that's all you really have to do at the end, is put those bolts back on and then that's it. And then I'll show you how to break these in a little bit, because you don't want to just go and then slam on the brake and fuck them all up. So I'll show you that in the next video.